Hey guys, welcome back. Today on The Untidy Artist, we are making wrapped headphones. Here are my two crazy daughters having a lot of fun showing off these headphones. I like these because they don't get tangled and it's easy to tell who each pair belongs to because they're all so unique. I also like it because now they don't steal mine. Let's grab some supplies and get started. The first thing you'll need is a pair of headphones or earbuds. You'll need embroidery floss. I would recommend 5 to 10 individual things of embroidery floss, depending on how long your headphones are and how many colors you use will also determine how much you use, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. And then you'll need scissors and something to hold your project down while you're working on it. So I like to use a clipboard. You can also use a strong piece of tape. All right, let's get started. The first step is to measure out your thread. Now I'll be using 5 different colors of thread, so you'll measure each piece to at least 50 inches. I would recommend starting with 50 inches. The longer you cut the thread, the harder it is to work with, so 50 inches is a good length to start with. And so measure all 5 pieces of your thread to 50 inches and line them up, and we're going to fold it in half. Now grab your headphones, and we'll be starting at the end of the headphones. And take your thread and you're going to tie it in an overhand knot around the end of the headphones. So we're just securing the thread to the headphones. Now, because I want to stabilize my project while I'm working on it, I am going to hold it down with my clipboard. And to protect my headphones, I just take a little piece of felt and wrap the felt around the headphones so that the top of my clipboard doesn't jab into the wires of my headphones. So I have all of the thread and the wire of my headphones, and I'm going to separate one piece of thread and I'm going to pull it to the left. This will be our working thread. So with our working thread, we're going to create a forward knot. To do this, pull the thread to the left at an angle and create a 4 by pulling it across the top of the rest of the thread and the wire. So you're creating a 4, and then we're going to take the end of the thread and pull it up through the opening you just created, and while holding all of the other thread and the wire in place, slide the knot from your working thread up to the top. Now simply repeat the steps. So pulling your working thread over to the left at an angle across the top of the threads on the right, take the end up through the opening and slide the knot up to the top. You'll notice the threads and the wires of the headphones that are on the right never move. They always just stay in place. The only thread that you'll be tying knots with is your working thread or the thread on the left. As you tie the knots, you'll start to notice that the knots at the top start to form this cool spiral that wraps around your headphones. To make sure that my spiral is forming evenly, when the knots start to move from the left to the right, just take your working thread and slide it under the other threads and the wire, and then continue to make your forward knots. This way, the spiral will wrap around your headphones smoothly. To switch colors, simply add the thread that you were working with back to the group of threads, pick a new color, and start using that as your working thread, creating forward knots. Continue to alternate the colors in any order that you would like. As you start to progress down the wires, you'll need to stop every so often and shift where you've secured down your wires. It's easier if it's held close to the top. It just gives you more stability in tying the knots. So as you continue to create knots, switching between the colors, you'll start to notice that some of the threads will get really short. What you'll need to do is tie those off and add some new thread. So when you get to this point, take your 2 shortest pieces of thread and tie them in a square knot. So left over right, right over left. This will ensure that they don't come undone, and then trim off the ends of those 2 little pieces. And now you're going to tie a new piece of thread on. So just like you did in the beginning, wrap it around, tying it in an overhand knot, right as close to the top of your spiral as you can, and then just add it to your group of threads and continue to make your forward knots. Now when I get to the end of the first section where the headphones begin to split, I take the 2 threads I was working with and tie 2 square knots, so left over right, right over left, curing the ends into a tight knot, and then trim off the excess thread. And this is what your project looks like so far. Now we're just going to follow the same steps we did in the beginning to start out our headphone. This time we're just starting at the top of one of the wires that leads down to the actual earbud. So taking my threads, wrapping them around the top of the wire, securing them into place, and then starting to create my forward knots. I really like how the 5 different colors of thread look in this project, but if you'd like to use fewer colors and fewer strands of thread, you can definitely do that. It's just another fun variation to this project. When you reach the end of the wire by the headphone, just follow the same steps again to finish off your threads, tying 2 square knots and trimming off the excess thread. Then just follow those same steps on the other side and you're all set. One great thing about this project is that you can start it, and if you don't have time to finish it in one sitting, you can simply set it aside and pick it back up when you have more time and pick up right where you left off. I love the bohemian look of these. I think they would also be a really fun Christmas present. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any comments or questions, please post those below. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and we'll see you next time.